Good evening, folks. This is Deb Delapana, and this is your short take. I just want to tell you that today is a great day for America. Today, the Manhattan grand jury voted to indict Donald Trump. The charges right now are sealed. They will not be revealed. He will be in court next week to be formally charged. This is a criminal charge from a criminal investigation. Now, I'm going to tell you right from the top. The right wing is going to tell you this means nothing. He'll never serve any jail time, that this doesn't stop him from running for president. And that is quite true. He can run for president. He may serve jail time. He can serve anywhere from 0 to 4 years. But this isn't nothing, just so you understand. This is the first time in American history that a former president has ever been charged under the law. Make no mistake about this. This morning, when it was announced that the grand jury was taking a month-long break, everybody on Twitter, all the right-wingers, all the GOP members, the Laverne Spices of the world were all out there saying they could not get Trump. Because why? Because he's been Teflon Don for a long time. But the fact of the matter is, the jig is up for this guy. Let me explain to you why this indictment happened first. It has nothing to do with running a smokescreen. It has nothing to do with its meaninglessness, okay? The fact of the matter is that this case could have been prosecuted a long time ago. In fact, the previous DA, before Alvin Bragg, chose not to go any further with it, and it resulted in several prosecutors quitting their jobs because they were upset with that. They knew he had broken the law, okay? Alvin Bragg had the political courage to do what he needed to do. This is not a witch hunt. This is not a question of the Democrats taking liberties. We have already seen what the Republicans are willing to do. The Republicans are willing to choose Donald Trump over the rule of law in this country. And that is because the entirety of the GOP as it exists today are full of seditionists, traitors, and criminals. End of story. I don't want to hear any more bullshit to the contrary. It is right in front of your face every day. Donald Trump is out there tonight saying that this is going to backfire on Joe Biden. Joe Biden has had nothing to do with any of this. His fingers aren't on this. This was something that the Manhattan DA took up when he took this job, okay? And in fact, if there was nothing to this entire scenario, he would have met with Michael Cohen maybe 3-4 times max. Michael Cohen went in to speak to the DA and was questioned 17 times. Michael Cohen has already served his time for the crimes that he committed, but he did not commit these crimes alone. Donald Trump was a very big part of this entire thing with Stormy Daniels. And this isn't nothing. You know why they're saying it's nothing? Oh, because she's just a hooker. She's just a paid hooker. She's no big deal. She means nothing because she's just trash in his eyes. You know, that's why he's calling her horseface now. He wouldn't touch her with a 10-foot pole. Well, guess what? It doesn't work that way. All right? It doesn't. The fact of the matter is that Donald Trump committed several crimes here, and we will know what those all are. But this is just the beginning for him because his crimes get worse from here. We have Fannie Willis in Georgia. That case is not dead yet, no matter what anyone's telling you. The reason that case has taken a long time is because in order to be indicted for those kinds of crimes, as they get worse going up the spectrum, they have to show a pattern. Well, Donald Trump didn't call one time in Georgia to talk about finding votes. They now have 3 phone calls from him. That is a pattern. We will see where that goes, okay? In the documents case, I know what they're fishing for. They don't believe that he has turned over all the documents. And if that is the case, that is obstruction of justice. And in the J6 investigation, they not only have to show a pattern, they have to show evidence of a conspiracy. Mike Pence is a huge part of that. And he has been ordered to testify to the phone calls and the conversations and the emails before the events of January 6th. He is now fighting that. That will take time. This is why it's taking time, folks, because guess what? The GOP and the parties at play, the people who have to be questioned, are all trying to delay this. Now, Mike Pence is not a hero. If Mike Pence actually loved this country, if he really did care about the Constitution, he would have appeared before the J6 committee willingly and testified truthfully to exactly what went on. He did not. He's not a hero. He's not a hero because he discharged his duties. In fact, on the day he was supposed to discharge his duties, he checked with J. Michael Luttig to make sure that he couldn't do what Donald Trump wanted him to do. If he thought for a nanosecond he could do it legally under the law, he would have done it. Or if he could have gotten away with it, he would have done it. This is a man who they built gallows outside the Capitol building to hang him, and he's still paying fealty to the Orange Jackaloon. He is not a hero. He did his job. That was all he did. Okay? I'm not a hero because I do my job every day. Firemen aren't heroes because they do their job every day. Policemen aren't heroes because they do their job every day. They did their job. He did his job. End of story. If Mike Pence really cared about this country and he wanted to see that it survives and he cares about democracy, he wouldn't be fighting the subpoena right now. He would appear in front of Jack Smith and the grand jury. By the way, let me say this. For the people calling this a witch hunt, the prosecutors had to make a case in front of a grand jury to get an indictment. They did not indict. The grand jury did the indicting, much like the grand jury that has been impaneled in Washington for months now, which I believe expires in March, and it may be extended because they need Mike Pence. He's central to the entire J6, and they have to have him. And they are not going to give up. They will fight him all the way to the Supreme Court if necessary. And this should be radioactive to the Supreme Court because they have not touched any other part of this case. This is a huge step. Richard Nixon, I lived through all of that Watergate shit. Richard Nixon resigned rather than go through this crap. And they could have indicted Richard Nixon for obstruction of justice. That's what they had him on. Remember the 18-minute tape that's missing? Yeah, Rosemary Woods. They could have indicted Richard Nixon. But see, what happened was Richard Nixon was president and he resigned, and the Republicans were in power. So what did Gerald Ford do? He gave Richard Nixon a preemptive pardon. That is not going to happen now. The Republicans are not in power. So this is my closing statement to you. Let this shit play out, but do me a favor. Get out and vote. Do not let the Republicans take power because this will all go away. Okay? This will all go away. And there is no way this country will survive the assault that the Republicans have put on our democracy unless the people see to it that it doesn't happen. We need to vote out almost every single Republican in power. The ones who are not complicit in all of this, the ones remaining silent, they might as well be complicit. They are allowing this to continue. They are protecting their own careers instead of protecting democracy and protecting this country. There is no solution to anything that may be a real fundamental problem to the American people that you will find in a fascist dictatorship. Nothing is about the people. Just like for the GOP right now, nothing is about the people. They're trying to pass legislation to make the AR-15 the national gun of the United States. They're trying to, in Georgia, they're trying to take control of Fannie Willis's district attorney's office, so she can't prosecute anybody. This is what the GOP is doing. And unless you people wake up and understand this, this goes nowhere. But don't make any mistake about this. This is not nothing, no matter what the GOP tells you. This is just the beginning. I will talk to you all later.